Hi, this is Cheryl Woodard. I live in the West San Fernando Valley of Los Angeles, California. I went to a number of junior colleges on account of the money and putting myself through, and I graduated from USC, which is the University of Southern California undergraduate, with a political science major and a cinema minor, and went to Indiana University for my first year of law school, and then transferred to USC and finished at University of Southern California. And I have certificates in mediation and collaborative family law. I was inspired to attend the conference by Felicity a couple of years ago. She talked about the importance of bringing spirit into the practice of law, spirituality, helping lawyers integrate their spiritual life with the practice. And it snagged me. It was interesting to me. I thought, this is something I've done since the beginning. Law school was a spiritual experience for me. It was a passion. And it never occurred to me to have it be anything different. And I thought, well, okay, that's not everybody's experience, so let's go see what they're doing. I think there's a creeping dawn. There is a light coming. I see more and more attorneys facing their dissatisfaction without trying to hide it or mask it or run away from it. And something Lorraine said on Friday, yesterday, when she 20 years ago looked at this and she had a teacher say to her, if you can practice law and be true to your authentic self, then you will have mastery. I thought that basically to me is the goal, to be in alignment with the most noble core values that we cherish and offer that to the people we serve when we practice. When I work with the people I serve, one of the things I'm looking for is their level of receptivity. How interested are they in making the challenge they're facing a growth experience? And if I find a person who has a level of receptivity, that they are willing to seek alignment with their higher self, then I have a broader spectrum of things I can use to help them. For example, I usually ask a person what their spiritual life looks like. I don't know how many attorneys do that. I want to know whether they have any kind of spiritual culture in their upbringing. I want to know where they get their nurturing, what their support system is. I want to know what they're eating, whether they're sabotaging themselves with food, whether they are exercising. So I look at their whole person. I look at the whole person, many aspects of their lives. I look at their family, who is really supportive of them, who is sabotaging them. And when I find someone who is willing to look at their spiritual life and figure out how they can find more support by cultivating that, for looking for strength and guidance, I think, the best success. And it takes many, many different forms. I really don't care what religion a person is. To me, that really doesn't matter. What I love is to find somebody whose eyes light up and say, oh, I can connect all this. I can make everything work for me. And I've had situations where the whole courtroom was filled with family members sitting in the back of the courtroom praying for them. And, or not. Or a person who says, I have no one. And it all depends on the level of receptivity. I had one client who'd been on antidepressants for 3 years and finally figured out he was in a really bad marriage. And I try to follow up with people to find out if they have used their legal challenge that they came to me with as a growth step. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I always look for that. I always look for, that's how I express my holistic nature. You know, am I working with a person who wants to find growth in these challenges they face? And I think because that's my focus, they do. I attract people who want to find the healing inside and apply it to the challenge. My very first law firm, we had a secretarial pool that was 24/7, so there were 3 shifts of secretaries. That should have been a clue. But I was so excited about practicing law, and I loved the law. I was so passionate about it that I went to work for that law firm in law school full-time. I was working full-time while I was still in law school because I was paying for it. I was putting myself through. And then they offered me a job full-time for after, you know, when I graduated, and I realized they were all crazy because they were all working there 24/7. So I left that firm. I went to work for a big, very prestigious Century City law firm that did entertainment law. And we were in a high-rise office building. We had panoramic view of Los Angeles Country Club, beautiful suite. And I cried every day. It was just the most miserable experience. Everything was 90-degree concrete angles. And you really had to struggle to find a plant in a planter. And after about 10 months of a complete misery, I moved to Aspen, Colorado. And because I needed to be around mountains and trees and plants and people. And I guess it was in the mountains that the message of Gary Bello came home to me, and he said, you know, practicing law is a fine art, and you are the artist, and you can practice law any way you want. You just choose. You just choose every day. You don't have to represent anybody you don't want to represent. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And that message hit me really hard, and I thought, okay, fine, that's what I'm going to do. If I were to describe my practice, somebody once said there are firm lawyers and there are boutique lawyers, and so I guess I could be described as a boutique lawyer because my practice is very small. I think the fine art of selecting clients is 50% of a pleasurable practice. So when I interview people, I'm looking for people that I feel are a good match chemically. I think the chemistry between the client and the lawyer has to be good. And if the chemistry is good, I'll take a case I wouldn't normally take. If the chemistry is bad, I don't care how much money they have, I don't want to get involved in it. And I try to make that clear to clients when they come in. So my practice is small, and I keep it that way. I don't ever want to have 2 court appearances in 2 different cases on the same day, and that's unheard of. Most of the attorneys in my world have 4 or 5 appearances in one day. I can't focus on somebody if I have to run next door to another courtroom, so I've never done that. I just refuse to do it. And as a result, I have the hours I choose, the vacation time I choose, the people I want to be with. It's been an exquisite lifestyle. I have been blessed from the day I made that decision. And I've been able to do the community work and the volunteer work that I always wanted to do. So to me, time is money, but it's my money, it's my time. And if somebody wants my time in a professional way, they'll have to pay for it, because what I do is very expensive, and I'm not at all embarrassed about that, because I give really full, rich, exquisite service, because I really care about the people I work with, and they know it.